All right, so we got a lot more parts in from the WLA. This whole box full of cool stuff. We got this, and we got spring. So we got a lot of stuff we got to do today. But I just got a text message from Tim, the guy who, you don't remember Tim, the guy who was racing these WLAs, and he just sent me a text message of a bike that looks exactly like what we're trying to put together, and it's 20 minutes away at the local Harley Davidson dealership in somewhere around there. So we're gonna go check it out, and I can't wait to see it. It's actually, you guys are gonna like this, because I've actually never seen one that was the same type of color scheme that I'm going for, but actually had the WLA chopped off fenders and was all raced out. So that's what we're trying to build. So let's all go check it out together. It's funny how motorcycles, like a lot of other things, can be very divisive. It's Harley Davidson, or it's nothing, or oh, that the bike's dumb because it's not fast, or that's a scooter, that's not a motorcycle. You know what I mean? That's not a motorcycle, that's just a stick with a horse head on the end. You know what I mean? So many people can look at a lot of things in that way, where it's us versus you. And I never really saw that. For whatever reason, with motorcycles, except for like dirt bike riders, except for KTM riders, you know what I mean? Just like they are the worst. My mind really never looked at it that way. It was more of a togetherness thing, you know what I mean? Like motorcycles have kind of been in my blood for a long time, even though I got into it late. But it was kind of in my blood in the sense that my grandfather, who was captain of the state police in Lancaster at Troop J, he rode motorcycle. Like my grandmother hated it. She was worried about everybody. She would worry about everybody out there, but she always worried about it, but she hated it. My grandfather loved it, and he loved riding motorcycle. He rode for the rodeo. He rode horses for the rodeo and motorcycles for the rodeo, and they would do like tricks, and I seen some pictures of him doing like tricks and stunts, standing up on the bikes and cool stuff like that. For some reason my dad never got into it until his sons got into it. But I didn't get into riding until I was like 19 years old, which is, kind of sucks. It was after my grandfather died. But for me, it was always just like a connection, and the more I dive into these older motorcycles, like my first bike was an 80s bike, then I got a 2001 Yamaha R6, riding different bikes from different eras. It's similar with cars, but even closer together with motorcycles. The difference between a motorcycle that came out in 1940 compared to the motorcycle that comes out right now in 2022, to be honest with you, they're not that different. It's the exact same feeling, the same excitement, the same, shifting and that same adventure and the same, like, in my mind, it really kind of connects you with the people who are buying vehicles like that. And this kind of makes the world just a little bit of a smaller place. This bike we're going to go look at, I'm actually pretty excited. I'm hoping we can learn more about the story of it. It's eerily similar to what I had in my mind of what I was looking to try to make my bike look like. And we're about to be there. So let's go check it out. Oh look, they got an Indian up there. WLA, old like 1919 bike. There it is. WR 1949 flat track, 35 horsepower, top speed 100 miles an hour. That is so cool. And it leaks oil like it should. It's got to be leaking oil. This is really similar to the color that we're looking at doing. Now, it's a different year, but those, as far as I can tell, those are WLA fenders because they're not, if you look over there, well, that one says WLA also. I thought the WL fenders were the deep fenders, like this, like that red one up there. But then this one's got the short ones, like the normal WLAs do. And it looks like he might have the same WRD heads that we have. Now he went with the spring seat. A lot of the guys are doing that to save weight. I'm gonna go with the pogo stick. Man, that's nice looking. Oh look. It's the same bars, Flanders bars that we have. We got a different riser set up. It's got like a no inch riser.
That's the actual.
Oh shoot!
Racing.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, so there's the actual bike racing. That was a local guy, right? What's his name?
Bill Miller.
Bill Miller.
Yep. He's
still around? So this is very similar to the paint color that we're looking at doing. We're doing the black forks, both sides black. We're also doing black springs. We're gonna have a chopped off front fender that comes like this. That's gonna be black like ours. Yeah, this is cool. That's cool, I'm pumped. I'm excited about that. So after looking at this really cool WR, my friend Brian, who I met a couple years ago after selling him his first motorcycle, showed me some of the other bikes in the back room at Lancaster Harley Davidson. Then I went back to the shop to work on my bike with Craig. Here's Craig right now.
So I think the day finally came. Parts are starting to show up for this WL build. I'm hoping today we're gonna actually get the first piece back on the bike. If you guys didn't see the last video, we straightened these forks. So we got some parts in for those. We're gonna unbox that stuff, see what it looks like, maybe mock those together. Let's start with the big box. Okay. Well, dusting.
Got a newer one of those.
We got a newer one. So, check this out. Now, this won't be 100% apples for apples here, but I think you can see the problem. Do you see the problem? We didn't necessarily feel like taking chances with this thing. Somebody will be able to bend this straight, use it, replace the rods. It won't be a big deal for them. Anyway, we got ourselves a new one. Let's see what else we got. Okay, so we got springs. Kind of curious here. I believe there's 8 coil springs on these front ends. We have uppers and lowers, inners and outers. Caution falling forks.
Now you would think that the placement of these springs would be pretty obvious, but it was not. So Craig, being super smart, looked inside our very expensive WLA manual and he figured it out.
So, what do we have here? 2.5. So we have to compress this probably 2.5, 3 inches. We have to compress this whole deal. There's some other stuff that goes up here. But that's what we got the tool for.
Affirmative. That we were working on that seat post next. An enthusiastic affirmative.
What's up, dude?
What's up, Craig? Looks like I put the forks together somehow.
It's like Christmas around here, man. Boxes are showing up.
Did you compare these with those?
I did.
They're so bent.
So bent.
And the funny thing about this is, did we notice that these were bent?
Mm-mm.
We didn't notice it because we're like,
you don't know what you don't know.
right, like there's a bend here. You know what I mean? Is that supposed to be there? We had no idea. And then other people, actually, wasn't it Tim? Who first told us?
No, I think Chad told us.
Oh, Chad. Oh, maybe, okay.
Maybe after he got home, he's like, yeah, man, with those bent forks, I'm surprised it didn't wobble more. We're like, wait a minute, what bent forks?
Man, that's so bent. Growing up, I lived in the city and I didn't really have a great place to work on my vehicles. I would fix my cars on the side of the road in front of the house, and my motorcycles, I would fix them in the backyard. I had a hand-me-down Craftsman tool set that if you opened up upside down, all the sockets would fall out of place. I've always wanted to have a really nice, organized, clean place to wrench and hang out with my friends. And now I have that, but I'm also missing a lot of important tools. So slowly I'm building that up. My grandfather told me, don't buy tools until you need it, but always have the money saved up so you can buy them when you need them. And my shop and this project desperately needs a bench vise. When I come back, I'm gonna go get me a vise. When I come back, I'm like smoking and drinking. Like those vices, you know.
Like playing cards.
Taking Adderall and stuff like that. What do you think, this end? Well, we just turn, it'll turn. Bam.
Toy like Toyga.
Now we're gonna work on the pogo seat. This is what really makes or breaks a ride. And like many of these old Harleys, mine was frozen in the frame and it was slightly bent. So we got a rebuild kit, but we need to separate the two halves first. The other piece will be a little bit smaller.
Yeah. Here, do you want to heat that a while? There
There we go. There we go. It's a little wins.
I'll take that.
Not hot.
I'll take that. We didn't even mess anything up.
Wow. So now, gotta clean up this guy.
Oh yeah. There's more springs and stuff in there.
Oh, there's some
Let me get it. Okay.
some grease in there that's on fire.
On fire.
Well, it's melting. Put that grease directly on your skin.
I bet you won't.
Yeah, that spring looks all right. Was that the same spring?
This one's
Did
longer.
it break?
Oh. I don't know.
So now we want to get this thing as polished and as cleaned up, get all the rust off, and get it looking as nice as we possibly can get it. And then we'll rebuild it and
Let's roll it on the table. Let's make sure it's not bent. It should be all right.
I mean, there's another way we can find out whether it's not bent. Let's clean it up first. A little tight in there. This is where it was out of the, it stuck out, but everything underneath was just kind of soaking in, I guess, water. It got rusted pretty well. Oh, it kind of has a bottom.
What's that?
It's kind of a bottom to it. So it slides in pretty nice. It has a little more space than what I would.
Well, the bottom, so that rod will go in there and then it'll come down, and then there's a locating bushing down here.
Oh,
that
okay.
Centers that rod, and it'll probably take that slop out.
Got it. So this should. There's no reason I see that this won't work.
No, I think we'll clean it up a little bit more and before final assembly.
Oh, here's a spring compressing tool.
Yeah, they used a pipe clamp.
This speedo cable has been in here for the past, since we started the project. But it's gonna look so good once we're done. I actually thought we lost it. Look how good that's gonna look. When it comes out clear, that means you can drink it.
Oh, okay.
What do you think, Dan? Is it clear? That's pretty clear.
Pour some in my mug.
Already did.
Oh, shoot. I did it anyway.
Look at that, Craig.
Oh, my word. That is nice.
It's almost nice. It's getting there. Where? These two? How's this one set up again?
Right like this. That spring went in, and then that spring went in, and then this was all part of the rod.
So we're gonna have a small one and a big one. Let's stick this one back in there. You have one this size, right? Yep. Let's clean this one up and stick it back in there.
So I'll go on the end. This will go there.
And all this wrenching reminds me of one of my favorite Bible verses that defines love. 1 Corinthians 13:4. Love is patient, love is kind, and love is not jealous. Love does not brag and is not arrogant.
Wow. Look at that. Oh, man.
Is this to adjust it?
So in the manual they give measurement specs depending on rider weight, and you can preload these springs. So this actually, like,
Well, what does it say in there?
I didn't memorize it. Below.
I haven't memorized it.
So you adjust here.
I mean,
Adjust your preload
we
here.
have to imagine that we're not the lightest guys.
Right, and I did buy the heavy duty spring kit. And then these are your locks. So that locks, and then this will lock, and then that goes through the bottom of the frame. This sticks out.
Can we try it out, see what it feels?
I do.
Let's do
I
it.
really do.
You know what the most important lesson I've learned from this project? Throw nothing away.
Right.
Keep everything. At the very least, you might need it, or someone else might see some value in it. But don't throw anything away. There's some guy at a swap meet who, honestly, like even these forks, some guy is like, I want to fix these forks. He's gonna love these forks. He'll pay $2,000 for these forks. Probably not that much. But
Find him.
we're gonna fund this whole build by just selling
Those forks.
selling
The random parts we have
the
left.
extra random parts. Wow.
It works.
So the way this works is there's multiple springs with multiple tension. So the first couple inches is the one spring, the little softer one, and then you get a little bit deeper, you get to the harder spring, and it kind of goes like
It's like a progressive spring rate.
right. All right, guys. I know we spent a lot of time getting a little bit of stuff done, but we're trying to do it. We're trying to do it the right way, and we're actually having a lot of fun doing it. Guys, we'll see you in the next video. Subscribe.
You're on your own.